This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 6. Thou shalt be visit of the Lord of hosts with thunder, and with earthquakes, and great noise, and with tempests, and flaming devouring fire. Mark 13 and 8. For nations shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdoms. And there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines, troubles, and these are the beginning of sorrows. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim scattered through four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the suspected bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. I say shalom to you Akim out there. And this is outside walk and talk lesson through the spirit, power, grace, mercy of Yahweh Yahushua on this September the 9th, 2022. Well, this Friday afternoon at 5 or 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And as you see, I brought out Isaiah 29 and 6. Thou shalt be vigilant of the Lord of hosts, earthquakes, and storms, and tempests, and flaming devouring fire. As you've been seeing, the volcano erupts, heavy earthquakes, heavy magnitudes of earthquakes in diverse places, heavy floodings, heavy storms, landslide, mudslides, you name it, you know. And then since hurricane season coming, then you got this is something called Hurricane Earl or something like that. And I'm gonna read it. This news article from CNN was on September the 8th, 2022. Last updated at 5:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is published by Holly Yang and Christiana, my sources of CNN. And it's in the highlight of this new news article, and it reads: Hurricane Earl threatens Bermuda and could bring life-threatening surf to the East Coast. And as you see the little geographical right there of the development of the Hurricane Earl. And it says, read the news article for this lesson. And it says Hurricane Earl is on the brink of turning into a major hurricane, threatening Bermuda, if I pronounced that name right, Salaki, with the furious winds Thursday evening, which was yesterday, since today is Friday. It says hurricane conditions are possible over Bermuda overnight. The Miami-based National Hurricane Center says on Thursday afternoon that was generated by Earth and have been building near Bermuda and are expected to reach the United States East Coast later on Thursday, forecast says. And it says these swells are likely to cause life-threatening surf and rip current conditions through the weekend. It says the National Hurricane Center says. It says in a post in a Twitter on the National Weather Service, increasing swells of rip current comes with the weekend of Wellington, North Carolina. Weather officials warn about possible swells from the hurricane will impact the areas through at least Sunday, or could lead to rough surfs and minor coastal flooding. And it says as of 5 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday, Hurricane Earl was certain about 140 miles, 225 kilometers south of Bermuda, according to the center. The cyclone was heading north of northeast about 16 miles of 20 kilometers per hour, and it hurled maximum sustained winds of 100 miles per hour, which is likely intensified, and said wind gusts were stronger. And center says Earl is expected further to accelerate Thursday night and make a more northeast turn Friday, which is today. It says the National Hurricane Center says it is growing larger and hurricane season. It says just like it did last year, caused a lot of damage, just like over there and did wiped out almost a whole community over there in Kentucky last year. Now it's back to hurricane season from last year all the way into next year, this year as well too. It says Earl is expected to further accelerate Thursday night and make more northeast winds turn Friday, as the National Hurricane Center has also growing larger with hurricane force winds extending outward up to 60 miles, 95 kilometers from its center. Center says Hurricane Earl could be a major hurricane by tomorrow. It added. Thereafter, some weakening transactions into a powerful extratropical cyclone is forecast on Saturday, which is tomorrow. It says a major hurricane is one that has a maximum sustained of at least 111 miles per hour. And it says CNN Judson Jones contribute to this report from CNN. So yeah, you got these earthquakes in diverse places. Thou shalt be visit of the Lord with hosts, with thunder, earthquakes, and storms and tempests of a flame, devouring fire. So that's why you've been seeing those heavy droughts over there in Utah, Phoenix, Arizona, Los Angeles, California. So, you know, the heaviest drought over there in Europe. You're gonna see the record-breaking heat over there in California, parts of Long Beach, California, like over 110 degrees, 125 degrees. So, hey, so these things are gonna increase, you know, and I'm gonna bring it out again. For edification's sake, maybe I can throw in some more scriptures right along with it. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord with hosts, with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, and storms, and tempests, and a flame that are on fire. Yep. And it says, probably bring out another scripture, because the other two I brought out already. And this is the book of Revelation, chapter 16. Revelation 16 and verse 18. And there were voices and thunders and lightning, and there was a great earthquake, such as wasn't since man. Right. Let me read it again, so I get an understanding of it. Take my time. This is the book of Revelation 16, verse 18. And there were voices and thunder and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since man was upon the earth. So mighty, and earthquake is so great, right? That's why you're seeing these heavy increase of these magnitudes of earthquakes around the world, you know. Because I believe 3 weeks ago you had that, I don't know if it was Indonesia, had like a 7.2, I believe it was a 7.2 earthquake. And then you had different parts around the world. You had like 6.7, 6.2, 6.1, 6.0, 5.9, 5.7, 4.7, 3.7, 2.7, you know, of these earthquakes in diverse places, and increasing, you know, in the latter days. So, you know, expect to see more of increase of high magnitudes of earthquakes in diverse places. Because you're going to see more earthquakes. You're going to see more tornadoes and hurricanes and earthquakes and mudslides, landslides. Just like that heavy flooding over there in Pakistan. Thousands some people had that, you know. And heavy rains increasing cause a lot of more significant damage. So, you know, Yahweh Shemal Shah, as the one that's doing these things on the planet Earth, you know, he's going to continue to increase to do it, you know. As these scriptures stated, what's going to happen. And it's occurring right now, right before our eyes, you know. And in another scripture, this is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 11. And great earthquakes shall there be, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilence, and fearful sights, and a great signs shall there be from heaven. Right. Because we seeing dust storms. I believe dust storms over there in the Middle East. You know, we're seeing these heavy floodings increasing. We're seeing these great famines, pestilence, increasing fearful sightings, chariot sightings, the chariots of Israel. We're seeing that as well too. We're seeing a full moon. We see stars. We're seeing moon. What's this typical? You see the full moon and through the day. You know, see it's showing these are signs of Yahweh Shemal Shah. And it's going to increase more and more, you know. That's why we're seeing great signs set up before heaven. That's what we're seeing, you know, and it's going to increase more and more and more, you know. And I'm going to look up the definition of pestilence. So yeah, yes, this is pestilence is a fatal endemic disease, especially binomic plague.
Pestilence.
As you see, pestilence. A fatal, it's a noun and a plural noun of pestilence. A fatal plague, epidemic, disease plague, binomical plague, neither prayers nor demonstrates hope, but advance of the pestilence. Similar words, plague and bionic plague. So yeah, you know, these things are definitely increasing. You know, it's going to increase more and more and more, you know, the times ahead that we're currently living in. And I believe it was about like last week, you know, they passed that, you know, the health organization, you know, they gave it an okay for those booster shots, you know. They still trying to, that sub-variant word, if you know what I mean. And those, that polio plague. You know, these different type of plagues of Yahweh Shemal Shah sent, and plagues were before, just like in the second Ezra, I believe. You know, he sent the plagues before from ancient Egypt, and he sent the plagues on modern day Egypt as well too. You know. Let's see. And I'm gonna look up famines because it's a lot. This is look up the definition of famines as well too, because that Amos 8:11, there shall be a famine in the land, for no thirst of bread, with the words of Yahweh Shemal Shah. That's going to come to fruition as well too. So you know, I'm looking up the definitions for, you know, for edification's sake. And this is the book of Salaki. I meant to say definition of famines. Right, famines. It's a noun, plural noun, famines, and excrete, scores of food, drought. Right, because we're seeing droughts as well too. That makes sense. Could result in a famine throughout the region. Similar words that says scorchly of food and food shortages. And it says similar words, shortages, scorchly, lack. Right. Amos 8:11. There's going to be a lack of bread and of water. But the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, you know. And it's a archaic hunger. Right. You're going to see that as well too. That's why you're seeing those heavy droughts over there in Europe, you know. You know, for farms and crops and stuff like that. We've been seeing these heavy droughts due to the record heat. And you're seeing those heavy floods that just happened recently in Mississippi and over there in, you know, because like not too long ago, the elder brought it out. The elder from Sacramento, you know, he was talking about these things, about that, you know, because he lived over there in California, you know. They had about a couple of months ago about that, about state of emergency of water and stuff like that. You know, so these things are going to increase in the latter days, you know. In people's minds may think this might be crazy, but this is actually happening right now, and we see it right in front of our eyes, you know. Like the scripture says, whether they hear or forbear these things, because the only ones who are going to understand it, the servants and prophets of Yahweh Yahushua, you know, as we continue to do these things, do these lessons, and be on our watch. Like the scripture says, you know, be on watchmen unto the house of Israel, you know, and that's what the servants of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua do, you know. And I'm going to bring this out again. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 11, and it reads, and there shall be great earthquakes shall that be in diverse places, famines and pestilence and fearful sights, and the great signs shall that be from heaven. Right, because that's what we're seeing. You know, we're going to continue to see these things. You know, these are earthquakes in diverse places. You know, mudslides. We're going to see landslides. You know, these things is going to increase more and more and more, you know, on the planet Earth. We're going to see the increase of high magnitudes of earthquakes in diverse places, you know. And especially with the recent earthquakes increase, like a 6.4 magnitude of an earthquake, 5.4 magnitude of an earthquake, 3.7 magnitude of an earthquake, 4.3, and the numbers keep going up and down, but these earthquakes in diverse places can cause some, how you doing? And the earthquakes in diverse places can cause, you know, like a serious damage. Can cause some serious damage, you know. So these things are going to increase in the latter days. And yeah, you've been seeing those heavy floods or heavy hail rains over there in Spain. I believe it was a Spanish kid that got hit by, like, you know, those hailstorms and stuff like that. So you're gonna see more of those increase as well too. And I was looking at this something on YouTube. They was having about when those hailstorms came over there in some parts over there in Europe, which is parts over there in Spain. You know, they had these large, you know, the large hail balls and stuff like that. And they was as big as a golf ball, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna see that increase as well too, you know. And those are scriptures on that as well too, about like Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You have those strong hailstorms as well too. And once again, I'm gonna bring out those scriptures for edification's sake. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord with hosts, with thunder, and with earthquakes, and great noise, and with storms, and the tempest, and the flaming devouring fire. So like I mentioned again, you know, The conclusion of this, hey, we're gonna have those wildfires. Even if it, you know, a lot of times, especially in the previous years and all the way into now, you know, you've been having these wildfires. People put the spirit on them, have these wildfires and stuff like that. But hey, if that's the case, hey, Yahweh Shem Al Shai put that spirit on him. Spirit on those people to do those wildfires, you know. Because Yahweh Shem Al Shai, he's the one that's in control of all this, you know. So these things are definitely going to increase more and more and more. You're going to see more of these storms, more of these hurricanes, more of these earthquakes, you know, hurricane season. As you've seen, I brought out that article from CNN about that Hurricane Earl. Hey, it's hurricane season, you know. So it has nothing to do with Mother Nature. It has nothing to do with climate change. As Joe Biden, not too long ago, which was kind of mind-boggling, I don't know why, signed a deal trying to fight climate change. You know, how can you? Because you know Esau in Job 9:24, earth was given into the hands of the wicked, and he covered the face of unjudged there. So that lets you know this devil is trying to mess with the weather, you know, put chemtrails in the air, polluting the water and everything like that. So the more, you know, like the scripture says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the wicked bear rule, you know, because Esau, Edom, you know, he the lord of wickedness, you know. He's the one that's ruling right now. But we seeing signs his, you know, Esau, Edom, his rulership coming to an end very soon. And we seeing these things, you know. That's why we being on our watch, you know, of these things as we see, you know. And so yeah, hey, expect to see more earthquakes in diverse places. Expect to see more heavy storms, tornadoes, and floodings, and all these different type of earthquakes Esau come up with, even though it's created by Yahweh Shem Al Shai. You know, sometimes Esau love to control the weather, tamper with the weather and stuff like that. So yeah, chemtrails inside and all that. He trying to sign bills into law, which is I believe that's in Isaiah 10:1 or something like that. Woe unto them with the unrighteous decrees, which they prescribe, you know. So that's Esau, Edom does all these things, you know. Well, Yahweh Shem Al Shai go shut them down, you know. So with that, I hope this walk and talk lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Al Shai. And first and foremost, I like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom and a ball.